This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Punjab University Alumni Association is proud to bring you a session, and that too on a very refreshing topic, future trends in fashion. And I'd like to welcome and introduce our speaker, Miss Carol Goyal. She's a very young and dynamite and talented young girl. She's mastered in art business from Sotheby's Institute of London and New York. She has also worked in media and advertising, and she's a regular columnist. And she writes for current trends in fashion, art law, and for publications like Business Standard, Business World, Economic Times, and Campaign, to name a few. Thank you, Carol, for agreeing to take out time for us and preparing this session on a very refreshing topic. And for the audience, I would like to say that throughout the session, please keep your cameras off and your mics on, microphones on mute. And over to you, Deepti ma'am.
Yes, come in, Carol. We are waiting for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that kind introduction. Good morning. I'm honored to have been invited by the Punjab
Carol, turn on
University.
your
Yes. Okay, yeah, thank you. So good morning. I'm honored to have been invited by the Punjab University Alumni Association to conduct this webinar. But to be honest, I'm tickled pink that this lecture of mine will earn e-certificates for participants. Not very far back, the same carrot used to be handed out to me and all my classmates, requiring us to attend guest lectures, which we were not necessarily much interested in. Therefore, I know today that besides helping you all earn the e-certificate, I have to make sure that I keep you engaged and keep you interested in whatever I have to say over the next 45 minutes. Thankfully, the subject chosen by Dean Professor Deepti Gupta about looking good despite the virus is neither boring or preachy. So we will keep it that way. We will largely keep this webinar chatty and friendly, and hopefully we will have time at the end of my presentation to ask and answer some questions. So here I go. So fashion is just one among many expressions of the self. But what a glorious expression it can be. Respect for oneself, self-awareness, and paying attention to how our appearances affect those around us are tools for our everyday happiness. The things that we love and hate, the things that we need and want, the things we require and insist upon are all components of this armor that I call fashion. It just seems like yesterday when we could hug and kiss, hold hands, meet friends, attend classes, stroll around the campus, and do whatever our heart will. In just 100 days, our entire world has turned topsy-turvy. Work from home, study from home. Our home is now our universe, our cocoon. No going out, no eating out, no meeting out, no movies, no entertainment, no nothing. So much has changed that I felt tempted to share a short video with you. I am sure you will love it. This is the story of how a young man fell in love with a girl from across the street and how he wooed her in these times of social distancing, including a coordinated virtual date and then a very, very enduring meeting that I shall let you see for yourself. So while I switch on to the video, there's a slight 10-15 minute gap. So please bear with me. Sorry, 10-15 second gap. So please bear with me.
I looked out my window and saw this girl dancing, perhaps with TikToks on. I needed to say hi to her, so I waved out on the balcony.
Some people
She waved
cannot
back.
view you and see.
I looked out my window and saw this girl dancing, perhaps with TikToks on. I needed to say hi to her, so I waved out on the balcony. She waved back. I grabbed my tape, pen, drone, and paper. Then I wrote down my digits and sealed it on my drone. Flirting is normally daunting for me, but since I've been quarantined in my apartment for a week now, I was craving some social interaction. 2020 has been off to a terrible start, but I still needed to shoot my shot. She picked up my drone, and I guess it worked because I got a text from her an hour later. Now it's time for part 2. I asked her out to dinner, but she said how. I had to do some thinking. But first, I needed to freshen up, so I shaved, brushed, flossed, and did a couple of but that was a misstep considering I was locked inside this bubble. We were having a lovely walk in the neighborhood when a cop car pulled up. But he recognized us from the news last night and just wanted a selfie. Phew. Take me tonight, just my feeling, it's just so right as we dance. Were we in the first?
Okay, so that was the video. I hope you liked it. And now I shall switch back to our presentation. So yes, so suddenly the world has become so different, and you can see here the bride and groom of today. Sure.
Karen, just a second. Uh, Audience could not hear the audio of your video, so can you send the link later on to the audience or to
Sure.
us, and we can forward? Okay.
Yes, I can do
Please
that.
continue.
I can also put it in the chat at the end if you'd like.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right, I'll do that.
Yeah, you can do that in the end, Carol. No problem.
Okay, sure. I'll do that in the end. Thank you. Okay, so I'll continue. As you can see, the world has suddenly become so different, and you can see here the bride and groom of today. Well, don't they look so pandemic? But also, both for the bride and groom as well as those who are already married, things and pictures and photography have a whole new meaning now. So with that, we move on to new additions to our lexicon. Words like new normal, social distancing, work from home, Zoom meetings, webinars, remote learning, and even contactless service did not exist till a few months ago. And today, they are phrases and words of our everyday conversations. Much as how our lexicon has been enriched by new words, our wardrobes now have to make place for new accessories and accoutrements. So we now have masks and gloves, which have become almost mandatory when we go out of the house. You need face shields on most flights today. And while hairnets may not have made a prominent appearance so far, once restaurants open up more fully, everyone will most likely have to wear hairnets before they can sit down for a meal. Also, I used to earlier laugh at Michael Jackson when he used to wear gloves and a mask, and yet here we all are stuck at home in this pandemic thriller, beating it. Well, I don't know if you really got the joke, but If you had asked me about the mask just a few months ago, I would have told you about the movie, The Mask. So when this film was released, on July 29, 1994 by New Line Cinema, it became a critical and commercial super hit. The film grossed over $351 million on just a $23 million budget, and it became the second most profitable film based on a comic up until that point, right after Spider-Man in 1978. The Mask also cemented Jim Carrey's reputation as a dominant actor of the 1990s, and it established Cameron Diaz as a leading lady. It was a debut film. Nobody thought 30 years ago that the mask would become such an important new accoutrement in the world of today. For those of you who already know her, this is designer Masaba Gupta, whose team was in touch with me a few weeks ago wanting to donate masks to the Mumbai police. She wanted to do her bit for frontline policemen and give them designer swag in these gloomy times. She gifted them 1,000 masks. So some policemen in Mumbai today can be seen donning masks like these, colorful, with African elephants on them, thanks to Masaba and her team. In all fairness, however, fashion guru Sabyasachi Mukherjee differed somewhat on masks as fashion accessories and said, "We are talking about a health crisis, and I hope we don't put privilege on things that are essential for health." He further added, "I think it is really obnoxious and it is really offensive to do designer face masks, and I will never put my label on a face mask ever." Oops. A few weeks ago, the BCCI shared a video on its social media accounts captioned, "Team India is now Team Mask Force." In the video, 10 cricketers can be seen motivating their fans, urging the people of India to join hands in the battle against the COVID-19 pandemic. Saurav Ganguly, Smriti Mandhana, Rohit Sharma, Harbhajan Singh, Harmanpreet Kaur, Virender Sehwag, Rahul Dravid, and Mithali Raj, all of them speaking about the importance of wearing masks. But however, the highlight of this video was the self-designed masks and the prints on them, which depicts either the nicknames or the special traits of the cricketers. So you can see Virat Kohli has a mask with the letter V inscribed on it. Saurav Ganguly has Dada written over his mask. Rahul Dravid's mask has a wall imprinted on it. This is what fashion statements are all about. The messaging about health is there, but every mask carries the personal imprint of each celebrity, signifying who they really are. Well, meanwhile, the NGO Art for Concern organized Masks the Art, an exclusive sale of masks supported by over 50 Indian artists to create a novel COVID era accessory and memorabilia. I will take you through some of the participating artists and the masks that they created. Well, as you can see, they're all colorful. They have different designs. They are exclusive in their own way, and they easily signify and depict the paintings that these artists usually create on canvases, making them a collectible apart from a daily use item. And for those of you who would like to buy such a mask, prices started from as little as rupees 900 and zoomed all the way up to rupees 20,000. Though I don't really know how much of us would actually have the appetite, pocket, and inclination for a 20,000 mask. And masks, even in the mask segment, are getting more and more creative and obviously very pricey. So, as you can see here, these masks are made out of beads, and they can also match your phone case. So you'll soon have people matching masks, with their shoes or their bags, their outfits. As expected, can I request you to please mute your microphone? Thank you. So as expected, the marriage market is the first to adopt the mask as a fashion accessory. As expected, the marriage market is the first to adopt the so and as you can see here, designers are creating some really cool and beautiful masks to match with the outfit and the ambience of the occasion, event, guests, friends, as earlier they used to match outfits. Moving on, the coming in of the mask has actually obliterated the lipstick. Interestingly, there is a nomenclature called the lipstick effect in economics. In all past economic recessions, the lipstick was one interesting commodity that buckled the negative trends. In fact, post the 9/11 in 2001, Estee Lauder, the cosmetics company, reported a significant uptick in lipstick sales, leading to this being termed as the lipstick effect, where consumers actually bought small luxuries to make themselves happy in the face of adversity. But sadly, in this pandemic, the mask has completely knocked off the lipstick. So this brings me to ask you all the question that would there be a new market for eyewear? The coming of the mask and the shrouding of most of the face has heightened the importance of the eye makeup and eyewear business. Already in the US, retail figures show that eye makeup is up 36% despite most retail being stuttered. Similar statistics are expected in designer glares once retail opens fully. On my part, I have some funky sunglasses that I thought I could show you all. So I have this pair of red glasses with buttons on the side. So if you can see, your whole face is covered by mask and you wear these sunglasses, it would really make a fashion statement. Or if someone doesn't want to go so blingy with red and buttons, there's a slightly more subtle option with this, but it has a Swarovski lining. So it's plain, it's fun, but it's blingy and decorative and partyish at the same time and nice for day wear. And lastly, I have these snap goggles, which is currently the new trend in technology. So they have a camera on one end and a button on the other end. So speaking about contactless, you won't have to use a phone camera or your hands anymore to take a picture. So you can just wear it and click on this button and take a picture. So these are new fashion trends that would be picking up with the eye. And the snap goggles also, you can wear it and you can take videos, and there's no framing involved since you capture what your eyes are seeing. So I thought that was a really cool feature. Okay, so moving on to makeup. So maybe in this pandemic, we shall be learning a new economic terminology, which is called the eyeliner effect. And it will describe how eye makeup took away the whole market for lipsticks. Also, in the end, since the face is covered, eyes are only there, maybe there's a market for nail paint, since hands are the next most usable, expressive, and visible feature. But since all of us are washing our hands all day and now required to wear shoe covers or fully closed shoes to protect our feet as well from exposure, maybe the market for nail polishes may also see a dip. So as an accessory, the umbrella is coming up as an instrument of social distancing plus a fashion accessory. Interestingly, It doubles up as an instrument of social distancing apart from fashion. And this is especially prevalent in Japan, Korea, China, and Southeast Asian countries. These countries already have a well-developed culture of using masks as also umbrellas. It is just that the umbrellas are becoming even more and more creative now, as you can see here. So all of you in this webinar should now go and pick up a good umbrella to carry around when the unlocks are fully done with. The umbrella will be good for the rains, for the sunshine, for social distancing, and also make a good fashion statement of good taste. Another new term that has picked up during the pandemic is athleisure, the combination of athletic plus leisure wear. And it was always supposed to be used for the gym or an informal evening out with friends. But this pandemic has pushed athleisure center stage as everyday work for home wear. It is casual, it is comfortable, and well, if you're picky enough, it can also be cool. Well, this one is my favorite. Whenever we earlier bought a dress, we called it the outfit. But now we're really not going out that much these days. So I would say that the outfit has become the infit. Do not for a moment think that this is a clever play on words, because fashion and apparel companies have actually designers now who are working on infits. So here we have another new addition to our fashion dictionary. Yes, since most of our interactions with the outside world during lockdown and even in the foreseeable future seems that it is going to be on a screen, the frame of the screen has become the most important fashion real estate. I'm sure many of you would have read jokes about people just wearing a nice formal looking upperwear while continuing to wear pajamas or shorts outside of the frame, and also being caught on camera by accident sometimes. Well, so be it. But it's all about planning how good you look or want to look by what is visible in the frame. By the way, since this is a fashion discussion, the frame can also be made to look intriguing, interesting, or intelligent, not just by the clothes you wear, but also by clever lighting and props that are visible on your screen. Which brings us to extending this thought as virtual backgrounds as the new fashion trend in virtual calls. So it does not matter really, if you're sitting in an unkempt bed in an equally untidy room. Everyone on the call can either see you in sunny Jamaica or a fancy coffee shop. Well, the depth of the bling is rather subjective, but you will have to be sure that now what you choose to wear must also be looking gorgeous on the screen. This one is a bit tricky. Natural, well, natural, I repeat, is not about natural ingredients. Research shows that 64% women on video calls and meetings said that they prefer the natural look when working from home, which means no makeup, just natural. Hence, natural too has emerged as a fashion statement of sorts. And it is not just the ladies that are preferring the natural look. 72% men have apparently not shaved or shaved only sparingly during the months gone by. So, bushy mustaches and heavy beards are a trend that might not end with the pandemic. I would like to extend this thought to fashion is not just about apparel or accoutrements, it is about style. Style is a way to say who you are without having to speak. And that is bigger than fashion. In a way, style is the superset of fashion, which is its subset. So we can say that style is living in your pajamas because you are most comfortable in them all day long. The point is that style is not about how others perceive you, but how you wish to live your life, the way you're comfortable and what makes you happy and ultimately confident. Therefore, style is also the headphones that you choose to wear on a call. You can have tiny, unobtrusive earpods or clunky, colorful headphones like these ones. You can choose. I've kept here, I'll just stop screen sharing. Yeah. I've kept these colorful headphones which brighten up my mood, and my friends exclaim every time that I'm on a video call with them how they love seeing them on me. And also, since they're so big, they look rather funny around my face, but that's what it's all about, right? So the most famous chef today on digital media is not Sanjeev Kapoor. It is Diljit Dosanjh. Surprise, surprise, Punjab's favorite actor. His version of imperfect cooking is what the new style quotient is all about. He says you are what you are and you love being what you are. In every kitchen, everyone who's been in the kitchen and cooked would agree with me is not the perfect combination and arrangement of ingredients and colorful looking food. It's a messy concoction of ingredients which makes up brilliant tasting food, which happens to look good in some cases, but that is not always the case. So, well, when I made this presentation, TikTok was still around before the government ban, but now style is being I'm really sorry about that. I think I got logged out. Well, that those are the perils of technology. I assume I'm back and everyone can hear me now. Can you all hear me now?
Can Carol? We can,
Yes,
Carol.
we can
Yes.
hear you.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. I'm
Yes,
really
go
sorry
ahead,
about
go
that.
ahead.
I don't know how it happened, but I shall
Relax.
start off from where I left off, which was with
Carry
good
on.
old Diljit Dosanjh. Yes,
Carry on
with good
the
old
slide.
Diljit Dosanjh being a great chef, and how he has embraced the messy kitchens and not just the perfect, beautiful Instagram. This is what my meal looks like. Goal and ambitious dishes. So style is also the music you listen to on Spotify and then share your playlists with your friends. It depends on your mood, your temperament, which I'm sure has seen a lot of changes during this pandemic. So every day you can wake up with a new playlist. Well, when I was making this presentation, TikTok was still around. And now style is being on Snapchat. So if you don't have a Snap account, you could get one today and have fun with it. Style is also what, how you're coping with the lockdown and wondering to yourself, jaane kahan gaye wo din? So are you missing your road trips, your college canteen, your vacations, meeting your friends? It's all about posting throwback, flashback pictures. Even Doordarshan started its Ramayana and Mahabharat, which the social media called as a major throwback. Style is, are you watching Panchayat? Well, Money Heist is cool, but I can say Panchayat is inverse snobbery, and that is what style is all about. Or have you moved on to podcasts? Because podcasts are the new fashion statement, and if you're not already a regular, at least jump onto the bandwagon now just to be counted. So as we wind down this lecture now, I get back to fashion and future trends, more so since contactless and social distancing, that is touch-free, will be the norm going forward. The London Fashion Week a few weeks ago moved virtual. We will have virtual trial rooms for all shopping malls and brands, which will look like this. Augmented beauty reality apps will rule tomorrow. YouCam Makeup has been banned by India for it being a Chinese app, but we still have Insta Beauty, Looks, Makeup Plus, Glam Squad, and we have fashion brands like Lakme and L'Oreal who already had apps, but now they're coming up with augmented reality beauty apps to help their customers shop from the comfort of their homes and also without trying on makeup on skin and on their face. As I mentioned, so that's what it will look like. There'll be an ordinary face and you'll have a screen and you can try out makeup and see what you look like. As I mentioned before, London Fashion Week has switched to the virtual ramp, and this is what a virtual ramp looks like. So everyone can sit in the comfort of their homes and view a fashion show entirely on their screen. Most importantly, in digital buying, I don't know how exactly this market would change, but one trend for sure is that you can no longer buy and return or buy, try and then return, which earlier a lot of us are guilty of doing. We order something, we try it out, we don't like it, it doesn't fit, and we just return it. So online shopping portals will most likely no longer allow this policy of theirs. And to be honest, I do not have an answer to this question. I guess you should just grin and bear it, wear what you can for now, and leave the rest for a better day. What I worry about more is a world without a smile. Fashion or no fashion, a smile goes more than a mile. And what scares me really is a world without hugs, without handshakes, without high fives. There's no physical touch or contact to show affection or friendship anymore. So I thought some of you would like some fashion tips or fashion trends that are picking up. So I've asked where to from here from. Firstly, I would say machine wash is at home. It's in. Dry clean is from outside and it's out. And this is both a health tip and a fashion tip that we would now move towards machine wash clothes because we're doing everything on our own. So it reduces our burden of clothes washing or sending out clothes for dry cleaning. More importantly, for tomorrow, wrinkle free is in, silk is out because again, we're ironing on our own. So it just reduces our workload. So wrinkle free clothes would see a great pickup in sales. We should now start thinking of the mask as an object of beauty. I know it's difficult because personally, even for me, it is very cumbersome to wear a mask, slip it on, slip it off every time you go out. And then you see your face, you're not used to seeing yourself with half your face covered up and it makes you look ugly somewhat. But we should now think of it as an object of beauty and embrace it with open arms. And of course, you should get that beautiful umbrella for when you step outdoors for both social distancing and to add some spunk in your life. We should obviously pick up eyewear that complements our mask or complements our wardrobe or outfit. For the more adventurous, we could even try out some nice hats. I kept some hats which I thought, you could just try out anytime. It protects you from the sun, and it's also a nice accessory to have. It also protects your hair rather than wearing a wobbly hairnet around yourself. Or you could try a nice bandana, whichever you're more comfortable with. So again, lastly, remember, it is about the screen look. It is all about your screen, the frame during work from home. It doesn't matter what is outside of the frame, what you're wearing, what doesn't show, your background, all that's within the frame is what needs to be worked upon for now. And I would like to conclude by saying that all that God is in his heaven and all will be well with the world soon and the good times will be back. So thank you.
Well, Carol,
Great
thank
job,
you.
Carol.
Thank you. I think we're open to any questions or any interaction that, we can have a nice discussion now. We have plenty of time.
I will request the participants to please just type their questions in the chat, because if everyone starts speaking together, it will be a problem. Please, everyone, please mute yourself. I am going to mute everyone, and please type in your questions. And Carol, you'll have to unmute yourself.
Okay, sure. I'll do that.
Okay. So we have a few questions. Okay, I want Miss Anju Kha to unmute herself and ask the question. Only Miss Anju Kha, who has typed 2 questions for you.
Okay.
Okay, Carol, I guess maybe she's not able to unmute. I will read out the question to you. Can you hear me?
Okay, sure.
She says, ma'am, during this pandemic, people have realized how much harm humans have done to nature. So as per EcoWatch Fashion in the second largest polluting industry, so many industries are now focusing on green or sustainable fashion. But don't you think, ma'am, in the name of green fashion, capitalists will try to extract more profit from the people? As we are already going through a financial crisis, it will get more difficult to attain sustainable goal in fashion industry, especially apparel industry. What do you have to say to this, Karen?
So, thank you for your question, first of all. And secondly, I would like to take it in 2 parts, which is one is fashion, the second is sustainability, and the third is how it would affect the current times and the times going forward. So in terms of sustainability, obviously each business wants to be sustainable. They want to be seen as environment friendly. They may or may not exploit the consumers, as you said, but I would like to take the example of this brand called Patagonia Fleeces. And they started this 29 years ago. They're an outdoor clothing brand for climbing, surfing, skiing, and they are very expensive. They are premium and they are expensive, but they say that we are very environmentally conscious and that is why these factors affect the price of our product. But people still buy Patagonia because when they buy it consciously, they feel that, we are contributing to the environment, we are contributing to a greener, more sustainable tomorrow, and they love the brand for its values. For example, until last year, in fact, people stopped wearing Zara. They boycotted Zara despite it being such a nice brand, very good looking and affordable, because there were news reports, some may say they are rumors, I do not know whether true, untrue, but there was a lot of outcry on social media that they are exploiting cheap labor from Eastern European countries. So people who loved Zara immediately boycotted the brand because they didn't see the brand as being sustainable on a global level, or being a brand that cares for its employees, or having a humanitarian touch. So, of course, in these pandemic times, brands have started making organic masks, or they have also started making masks which are environment friendly, easy to dispose, and all of that. And they are priced at a premium, as well as N95 masks, for medical and frontline warriors, rather than just a disposable, washable cloth mask, which have different price points. They would be expensive, but then a consumer would definitely buy them. It would not affect sales because they personally feel we are attached to a certain cause, or we are contributing to the environment in a small way. I hope this answers your question. So I would say it's a world of woke brands. It's called woke marketing, which is political. So things with a cause always stand out.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you for your answer, Carol. Mr. Yogesh Khanna wants to ask, but sir, I cannot mute you. You have to unmute yourself from the screen. There is a button there for your microphone. You have to unmute it. Yes, you are unmute now. Please ask the question.
Okay, Carol, it was a very good session. I really appreciate your gesture towards the PPTs and all. Basically, I'm a sports person. You particular pen out the the sports icons of the world.
Yes.
Sachin Tendulkar. So my question is towards no doubt the trend has been totally changed. The people are more comfortable to wear in the casual wears rather than to they opt for the formal. Because the work from home culture totally changed the mindset of the each and every person, whether they are professionals or they are the housewives. Now
Yes.
people are more comfortable. My particular question toward this session only, what about you think this typical 3 months continuously lockdown period, what kind of fashion, what kind of mind setup towards a family, a normal family can be adopted, whether they are opt for the exercise, whether they are opt for the homemade cooking chef. You very well you give the example of the Jeep. So what
Yes.
would you what would you what would you suggest for the your all attendees and the viewers
Yes.
during this lockdown period, what they will do different from the others,
Okay.
apart from with your fashion?
Okay, so thank you for your question. But since you were speaking, and especially when you asked me what would they do, which is different from the others, in my head I have this whole set of memes which I keep coming across. One of them shows a very long line of people saying, after the lockdown, this will be the line for Master Chef entries, because everybody has started cooking. I'm sure each house today has at least baked a cake, and every child and every age group has entered the kitchen, no matter how old they are, no matter how young they are, whether it's a school going child, a college student, working parents, grandparents. And also, the most important trend is that from moving outwards, from growing externally, people are now going inwards. So they are bonding more with their families. They are connecting with the people they care about on video calls and personalized phone calls, and they're self-improving. So since you come from the sports field, you might worry that people aren't looking after their fitness. I am worried that gyms as a business would see a big hit, because in 3 months, people are so used to working out at home. Apps like Cult Fit and Healthify Me have grown in number. There are online diet plans and exercises that people just put on an app and they work out, which is as good as the gym. And brands like Marks and Spencers have started advertising with taglines like, these are the best clothes for your workout from home. And families where parents were working, children were in school, they hardly got time to bond. They are, in the olden times, how skills and knowledge or gyan used to be passed down generation to generation. More of that has started happening now. You're learning from your parents, your elders, and teachers as well on screen, rather than just becoming so globally aware from experiences and observations in society.
Very well said.
The word is headed.
That's great. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Very good answer, Carol.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, we have another question from Ms. Sangeeta. Ma'am, if you would like to unmute yourself and ask, you can go ahead. Otherwise, I'll read your question. I'll give you a few seconds.
Sonia, we got Michelle Phillip and Ananti Breval also in line. And
Yes,
we got
I'm
Yogesh.
sure.
Yeah, Yogesh asked, I think. Yeah, Yogesh asked.
Okay,
Ananti
ma'am,
and Michelle Phillip.
Yeah. Yep.
If Sangeeta is not available, you can read out.
Yeah. Pardon, I didn't.
Hello. This is Sangeeta. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, go ahead, Sangeeta.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Your presentation is really good.
Thank you.
Ma'am, yes. Ma'am, my question is actually we all can see on Instagram, on Facebook that many fashion designers have come with their mask designs. They have designed masks with like cotton, linen, and many stuffs like this khadi. But because I'm science student, so with that regard, I'm putting my statement, my words, that pore size is very important to block the virus entry into the mask. Are the fashion designers or mask designers or customizer one, are they considering this factor into?
Sure. So, since you mentioned pore sizes and how masks are being designed, on a personal experience, I can just quote from what I showed you in the presentation with what Masaba Gupta has done and what Art for Concern did. So what happened was, with Art for Concern, I did ask them, are they clean? Are they easy to use? Are they washable? Most importantly, because if someone has painted over them, can you wash them? So there are two categories of masks for as per my understanding. There's the N95 mask, and then there is your reusable, washable cotton handmade mask. So N95 is
Yes,
for
yes.
the doctors, the police, which has layers of fabric, and it's for not just germs, but a lot of viruses from all sides and directions, because they are in such a highly exposed environment. So they're not just precautionary, but they are also medical and surgical. What the cotton masks are, which you just wear at home, are only to cover your nose and mouth, and they should have this whole thing, so they're touching your skin and no virus or germ is going in. And but more importantly, it is not letting your breath, your saliva, or your particles going out to another person. So rather than protecting yourself, these masks are more as prevention, that you're not spreading it out to someone else. So that's the only difference, because you're not in an exposed environment. I mean, if I'm in office or I'm at home with 5 people and I'm wearing an ordinary cotton mask, I'm not in an environment filled with germs, but I'm wearing the mask just so that I don't spread any of my particles to the person next to me. So fashion designers, as on ethical basis, they should mention that this is not N95, this is an ordinary cotton mask. But apart from that, I don't see any harm in these being made and worn. But obviously, if you're a doctor or a policeman, you wouldn't want to wear it. Because, I mean, our prime minister wore a gamcha on his address to the nation a few days ago. And you see people on the streets with their hankies. Women wear chunnis and scarves to cover their face. So it's the same application of a cotton mask rather than an N95. I hope that clarifies things.
Yes, ma'am, that point is very clear to me. But I want to make one more point here. Ma'am, actually, it would be better if the fashion designers go for N90 or some other stuffs like mm, the stuff we use in our labs. Like this is very cheaper. This is very cheaper stuff. So why don't designers use that stuff and then they can do embroidery or painting or whatever they want to with that stuff and they can design. I mean, this is my suggestion. That is
Yes,
why I'm.
true. I do
They can
think it's
consider
a
it.
very valid point. Yes, and I think the world will be headed that way. But with all things, including fashion, it always begins with the masses. It begins as an icon of popular culture and then moves into a niche field. So I think once people get used to wearing fancy masks, they would move into more technical, high-grade stuff for doctors and laboratory workers as well. But since they are less in demand and more expensive, they rather focus on the masses till the trend sets in.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. There are a lot of other questions also. Michelle ma'am wanted to ask, and who's next? I have to see.
Michelle Phillips.
Michelle. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
All right. Carol, thank you very much for such an extensive, well-covered, talk on fashion. You've covered every aspect of life in the lockdown. And if you notice, as soon as you talked about framing, I got very excited and I repositioned myself so my bookshelf would be showed off behind me. Yes. So my question is, do you think I live in Mumbai, and in Mumbai we don't have maid servants who live with us, so they
I live in
are.
Mumbai too, ma'am. Sorry to interrupt you, but I got all excited when you said
Okay,
Mumbai. Yes.
okay. So since maids are banned, and we are, filling in that space,
Yes.
my question is that we are hard pressed for time.
True.
At some point we will have false uppers. For example, we just put on like a kurta, but it actually looks like a sari blouse and a sari neatly pleated and all like that. So do you think that aspect of false uppers will come into fashion at some point?
Yes, of course, ma'am. That's really
And at the
funny
same time,
because
it's not. It's just really.
could you please
Yeah,
repeat that, ma'am? I couldn't really hear
yeah,
you.
yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't hear the
I'm
last
listening.
part. No, I couldn't hear the last
No,
part
I
of
was
what you
saying, I asked, do you think that this whole concept of false uppers, so you just throw it on like a
said.
cloak, but it's designed in such a way that it looks like you're wearing a suit or a sari, which is neatly pleated, or a kurta with a dupatta neatly folded. Whereas you're not really wearing a kurta, you're just wearing your home exercise wear and you've just thrown this over you. False
That's
uppers,
a
I'm calling them
very,
false uppers.
yes, that's a very good insight, ma'am, because from personal experience, I was talking to the principal of a very, very reputed school. I'm not going to name her or her school, but she told me that I'm so hard pressed for time that I roam around in a nightie all day, and whenever I have to get onto a call, I just throw on a shirt on top of it. So that's what we're all doing, someone's throwing on a shirt on a nightie. So I have personally, I don't know if I should be saying this, but I have these night suits which are collared.
Okay.
So I just wear collared night suits, you know, if I have like an early morning 8 a.m., 9 a.m. call. I don't even need to change. You just put a scarf on top of that night suit and it looks like a very formal meeting shirt with a scarf.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you can wear jackets and you can just wear throws or shrugs, you know, just do your hair, wear some accessories. And
True.
really, so I just look at my wardrobe and wonder what I'm going to do with so many clothes, because we're just making do with a few clothes that we're wearing every day. And
Yes,
also, the virtual background is also important. So a lot of my friends have downloaded these backgrounds, and you know, when you call them, they're sitting on a beach or they're in a very fancy 5-bedroom apartment, but actually they're just on their bed. So I think
with the
that's
green
where
screen, I think a green screen behind you has the potential to project images from all over. Yeah.
true. The green screen is doing wonders during lockdown.
Thank you,
Michelle,
Carol.
please
That was
switch
very
on your video. Michelle, please switch on your video. We want to see your
Yes,
uppers.
we want to see your background.
Can you see me?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we can see you now. So no problem with
behind
the
me.
uppers there.
My bookshelf and my.
Oh yes, sorry, yes.
Yes.
Thank you. That was very exciting.
Please come in. Sonia, please come in.
Yes, ma'am. I'll just switch on my
Come
camera.
in.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Go
I
ahead.
was saying there was one participant, Anant Deep. He, I don't know, missed or missed us. The next question from him. Can you please unmute and ask?
Anandeep, go
Yes,
ahead.
ma'am. That is me, Nanti. And I would like to, Carol, hi. Your presentation was quite nice, and I'm, I'm living the pandemic. You know, what do you say? Life right now. If you can see me, you will know that I'm outside. I'm wearing a mask, and I'm still attending your seminar.
Oh,
So,
that's so sweet.
Anandeep, switch on your video.
okay, ma'am, I'll do that.
When we saw, when we
I
saw
thought
you,
you were.
Yeah, you can see I'm outside. I'm in a bank right now and still attending a seminar. So this is a new phase of pandemic. But there is another very important part of pandemic, that is a health crisis along with the economic crisis. Okay, so I have 2 points to make. One is in health crisis, you always try to wear whatever is healthy for you. So you did not touch upon microbe antimicrobe fabrics in your presentation. So this is also one thing. There are many sports brands who are using these kind of fabrics, although they are antibacterial right now, but they're working towards including all sorts of microbes in it. And secondly, because of the economic crisis, usually what we've seen in the past history is like our garments actually go neutral in color and classic in cuts. So what is your opinion on that?
Could you please repeat that? Neutral in color and
Classic in cuts.
classic in cuts. Yes. So instead of classic in cuts, I would rather say that there would be a certain type of wardrobe which is just what people are wearing at home. Because when I go out to shop also now, what I see is people are there in their shorts or in their pajamas, whereas earlier people at least wore jeans or pants and shirts, you know. But now it's all about loose, comfortable t-shirts and loose pajamas and shorts. And it's all about comfort right now, because 95% of the time you're at home, you're lounging either in bed or on the sofa. Even if you're working, you're in a very chilled and comfortable environment. So the clothing also is reflective and contributory to that whole mood and tempo of being relaxed and at ease. and you don't have to put up an appearance because you're with your family, you're living with them. So there's no image which has to be maintained or projected to your clothes. There's no public interface or a public face you have to show. It's all about who you are and what now you portray yourself to be. It's all about being, in social media they say back to the basics or being real. So I think it's all about that now.
And actually, I mentioned the neutral colors because usually neutral colors, even the production of neutral colors, become little less expensive than brighter colors. So that is why I said maybe because economic, we have to also take care of that side. So this will happen.
Yes.
Two more things. One is like indoor glasses, like safety glasses. So will we see an emergence of designer safety glasses?
We could, I think, personally with me, what has happened is because of so much screen time, we would all now, even if we don't have a spectacle number, we would be wearing anti-glare glasses more and more for personal eye protection because of increased screen exposure. Like even if you're not working, people are binge watching shows, they're on their mobiles constantly, even video calling, it's all moved to the screen. And in terms of safety, I think it's more to go out again, the same concept of the mask, not to let anything enter your eye, also protect yourself from the sun. So there would be a change in eyewear, but more from the anti-glare point of view rather than safety as such in terms of hazardous chemicals or something.
And you also mentioned that we'll be now using much more, many number of accessories as before, like an umbrella, glasses, mask, which I think mask and umbrella we would like sometimes only use it. For that, would we be carrying a bigger bag? Men also.
So also now the new trend is UV boxes because our leather bags have clearly taken a backseat because if you go out and you come home, you have to sanitize your bag. And no one's really going to do that. So we've started carrying washable or easy to clean bags, which are the jhola bags, which are a fashion statement, and UV boxes, for metallic items like your phone, your keys, earrings, rings. So I could show you something. It looks as small as this, and you could carry these around. And also, umbrella would be a separate component. The glasses would be separate because I started carrying a separate bag for my laptop, a separate bag for my keys and car keys and phone. And then you have to come home and sanitize them separately. So your whole multi-purpose, big leather, fancy branded bag would definitely take a back seat for some time.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. There are a lot of other questions also pouring in. I'll just take one last question because time is, we have already crossed 1 hour.
Sure.
So this is Miss Rajinder Kaur. She's asking, hi ma'am, what do you have to say about layered clothes? If there will be less layered clothing that have less chances of catching virus and bacteria, is that true?
I think so because it's very practical during the summer to wear single, easy to wash clothes. But during winter, I mean, what can you do, right? You have to wear layers, you have to protect yourself from the cold. It would be very difficult because you have to come and wash and sanitize everything, but it's better to protect yourself from the environment and the virus. So if the virus won't kill you, the cold will, and it attacks your lungs, so you don't want to get into that.
Yeah, that is there. Dipti ma'am, is there anyone else who
I've
wants to
also
ask a
just
question?
sorry, I've also just posted
There's
the
one
YouTube
question where
video.
somebody said, can you define fashion as phenomenon and clothing separately?
We could do that, but clothing is an integral part of fashion. Fashion is huge. It's got accessories, it's got the accoutrements, it's got umbrellas, masks, earrings, it's got food, shoes. It's a major subset, and clothing is a part of fashion. So fashion can be described separately, and clothing would just come as a component.
I think that wraps up the question, Sonia. You can nicely thank
Yes,
Carol
ma'am.
for a
And that
wonderful
was from
presentation now.
Yes, ma'am. In fact, her interaction has been equally interesting.
Thank you.
Okay. Carol and everyone, I on my camera too.
I can see Mrs. Dhamija, so I would like to say hello to her.
So
thank you, Auntie, for attending.
Okay.
For other friends,
welcome, ma'am, and thank you for attending.
Personally.
But you did not discuss the culinary skills of men which has come out during this pandemic. Am I right? You did not discuss the culinary skills of men.
Oh yes, the culinary skills, yes, don't need to be awarded.
Types of skills, I must say. Cleaning the utensils, cleaning the house, making dishes, all that experiment. Otherwise, the talk was very interesting. If you had taken this topic also, discussing men's culinary skills, then it would have been more interesting.
Yes, that's definitely come out in this pandemic.
You prepare your next presentation on that. Okay, I deem it a great honor to propose a vote of thanks to all those who have helped us in making this webinar a resounding success. First of all, I would like to thank our leader, our guide, and my mentor, Professor Deepti Gupta. Ma'am, without your guidance, we won't be hosting any event. Thank you for showing us the way and always motivating us. Then I would like to thank you, Ms. Carol, for sharing with us your findings and opinions today. In fact, you've shown us a different perspective on style and fashion, and you've such a positive outlook towards life in the present situation. If we look carefully at your presentation, it was much beyond dressing up and the general meaning of fashion. You told us how to lead a life, how to have a different attitude, and which at such a young age is really incredible. We wish you success in all that you do in life, and thank you once again. And last but not the least, our beloved and wonderful audience, some of whom I know personally, some I have talked to or chatted over the WhatsApp groups that we made for this webinar. Thank you for being here and for your cooperation. Please give us a few days to send your certificates, as we will tally registration with attendance. No proxies here. Over to you, Deepti ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. For us, our members and our audience are most important. You are our VIPs. And of course, I can't thank our young presenter of today. I think she did a wonderful job trying to put everything into one beautiful gift wrap. So thank you, Carol, for a wonderful time, and a big thank you to everyone who devoted their time today. We look forward to more happy times with you. Have a great day and stay safe. Thanks, Sonia, for the wonderful management.
Great. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, and thank you very much,
Bye-bye.
ma'am, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.